Good evening. Happy Marvelous Monday. We are back for our recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 18, reunion part 1. Good evening, Auntie Diva. How you doing?
Good. Listen, how you doing? Okay, how you doing? Listen, child, this reunion.
They played us out. They played us out.
They played us out. But not only that, if you look on like Bravo's, like because I do, what do you call it, the on demand, like where I watch it in real time, and then I do on demand to get our notes for the for the live. Child, they even Bravo confused because they got up their reunion part 2 for part 1. And I just said, am I bugging?
Yeah, they put part 1 on the Peacock app, so maybe just the TV people acting up. I don't know.
Maybe the TV people acting up, but I was like, yo, Bravo, come on, do better all the way around. Because
whoever did that, they need to be fired.
Yeah. And not only that, you know what, Royaire, y'all are like, we giving y'all an hour of our life.
For 18 weeks, 19 weeks.
That part. Like, do better. Do better, like for real. Like, but I'm gonna show you real quick. Watch, hold on. I'm gonna share a screen just so y'all can see how they bugging, how they so sloppy with it. You see that? It says
not part 2.
Part 2, sloppy. And I'm like, yo,
7/13/2025. It sure do say that.
I'm just like, yo, they sloppy with it. I'm just like, yo, this is just ridiculous.
Do better, Bravo. Do better.
Do better.
You know better, you do better.
That part.
Whew, child, look, talk about people knowing better and doing better. Did you see that beautiful gown that Miss Bree Edie wore to the after the reunion? Rather, have you seen the gown
that she was supposed to wear to the reunion? Yo, she would have slayed. She would have been on the top of the list. You show her, boy.
Slam dunk. We got to get into it. Let me make sure it's muted. Hold on. Okay. Girl.
That's what they mad about. You got to tell the truth and shame the devil. That's what they mad about.
Oh, baby. That's how you do a reunion look. That's how you do it. Yes, girl. Served. Okay.
Served. That chick tore the building down. I mean, from the face, the hair, the makeup. You.
What's your girl Candy say? Legs and hips and body, yaddy. Better do it. That's how you do it. That is a reunion look for you, okay? That is how you come through. You drop your content. That's how you post it on the Instagram. She did it all.
She did it all. We getting feedback from. Where we getting that feedback from?
I'm not hearing any. Are you hearing?
Okay, I was hearing feedback with my own voice, but I don't hear it now. But share this screen I just put up for you. Share that screen. Look at this girl. Listen, Royaire, we can have the same stylist, but the way a person wears the clothes is not going to be the same. This girl know how to pose. This girl know how to give face. And you know what? You don't have to like her, but let's give it this. The girl is stunning. She's gorgeous.
Stunning. Because I said that in our DM when we talked earlier. I don't like Brit, but sis slam dunk this look, okay? This is a number one. This would have been number one. This would have been number one.
The girl gives face. Even remember that time when she was upset and they went to her house and she had zero makeup on?
Yes.
She had zero makeup on. She's that girl. She is. Wait, let's look. Look. This is magazine work. Damn, girl, come to my house and show me how to pose. Look, this girl's work. She doing it. I mean, the face matches the hair, matches the dress, matches the whole look. And she's not
Everything.
all the fun.
It's everything. It's everything.
She don't have all of that jewelry on because all of that is the look.
It's the look.
Look at her. Look at her. She don't got no jewelry. She ain't got no necklace on. She ain't got no bracelets on. She got on a ring and her earrings. She ain't getting crazy with the hair color. The hair is black, honey. And she got the nude face. I mean,
Slayed.
She slayed.
Okay.
I wish though, listen, I understand once you get in your feels and now everybody just sues. I'm gonna be honest with you, Royaire. I wish she didn't sue. I wish she would have came to the reunion, and I wish we would have had the opportunity to see her again because that girl, she killed it.
All she had to do at this point was just come and sit on the couch. She didn't even have to say nothing.
No, she didn't, because she killed it.
She slayed.
Yeah, gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. So she letting us know I had my dress, I was ready, but you know, the flim flam went on and she had enough. Now, we often say this too. We often say in different situations, why if people knew it wasn't working for them, because we said this about Nene. Why did you stay 29,000 seasons if you hated them, you wasn't being treated right, you was being mistreated? So I will, on that note, give it up to her. She said at the one season, y'all won't be doing me like this no more. And she was out. So you got to give it to her. It wasn't working for her. It wasn't her cup of tea. So she was out. But girlfriend, I got to give it to you. You know how to take pictures. Boom, you get a 10 for that. Your face is flawless. You get a 10 for that. That dress fit you well. It was everything. And you got the assignment. You ate in that picture. Girl, bye. She did the darn thing. Point blank, period.
She clocked in. We see you, girl.
She did. Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. I seen that dropped a little earlier today. I said, well, listen, we got to mention it because, listen, if you're going to come through and do it, that's how you do it, okay? And it may have been a late, but it was not forgotten, okay? Because the people loved her look. I was looking at the comments, and they was throwing shade at her saying, you didn't show up, we don't care, but you look good, girl. And she does look good. So
wait, Royaire, I'm sorry, because you know this reunion ain't nothing, so we'll be all right. Let me share this again. Let me share this again because we gotta read what she wrote. What she wrote. She did the darn thing. She says, as I close this chapter, I want to thank everyone who supported me, my friends, my followers, my amazing team, and everybody who defended my name. I decided to walk away from something that no longer serves me because I choose peace over destroying my mental. It's very easy to say what I should have done when most have not walked a day in my shoes. I choose me. And a lot of people can't say they choose themselves. I still have a lot of healing left to do, but you can't heal in the same place. Oh, come on now. In the same place that made you sick. I don't owe anyone closure. I only owe myself to do what's best for me. My journey here is done, Britt. You better shut him down, girl.
She said what she said.
You better shut him down. She's right, though. She chose herself. And many people, honestly, when we think about everything that went down in the Diddy orbit, I call it the Diddy orbit. Many people in that orbit did not choose self. This chick chose herself, and I give it up to her. I'm done.
Period. Well, let's jump right on into this because we are here to recap the Real Housewives of Atlanta Part 1 reunion. And you know what, Diva? I just got to go in and say yet again, I feel like I was right. I told the people, if Britt wasn't going to show up, we at least needed Kenya to show up. Invite Kenya to the reunion. Because if you're not, there's going to be a bunch of flip-fluff and boring. And what was it? Flip-fluff and boring. Okay? So we start off, you know, the first part of the episode, you know, Phaedra, Shamir are coming in. All the ladies are getting dressed, you know, are coming in, preparing for the reunion. We're supposed to have a start time of 9 o'clock, but some ladies are showing up at 9, at 10, just showing up whenever. But here we are. Porsha, she's on the couch sleep. You know, she done took some magnesium, so she's knocked out. Okay, baby. You know, Kelly's team, you know, they're getting ready. They've got Kelly Farrow t-shirts on. She's got her crystal ready to sage the area and the energy, you know, do her thing. Angela, she's trying to make sure that her wig is secure this episode, okay? We don't want no slip backs, no takeoffs, and no pullovers, okay? So she's securing the glue, making sure everything is glued down. And Shamia is having a moment with her mom, just letting her know that, she's ready. She's here. She doesn't know how she's going to be able to deal with the attacks, but she's ready. And, we're going forward to do the best we can do for the reunion, okay? So, Phaedra went to go check in on Britt Edie. She goes to knock on the door. She walks in. It's completely empty. No furniture, no chairs, no people, no dresses, no nothing, okay? Completely empty. She goes over to Porsha's room, say, Porsha, hey, girl. Well, get up, girl. We starting at 9 o'clock. What you doing? So Porsha, gets up. She asks, Phaedra asks Porsha, has she heard from Britt? She said, she ain't in here. Where that girl at? Cynthia comes in. She's asking about Britt. Nobody knows where Britt is. Porsha did attempt to try to call Britt. No answer was made on the phone, okay? Porsha says she took magnesium. That's why she's so tired. Phaedra said, you shouldn't do that, girl. You're going to be pooping all day and exhausted all day, okay? Drew finally arrived at 10:30. Why is Drew always late? Drew, you've been in this industry for a very, very long time. I would think that, timeliness should matter more to you. But okay. The ladies were supposed to start filming at 9. We didn't start filming until a little bit after 11 o'clock. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, all the ladies come out on stage. They have their dresses on. Kelly says that her outfit was custom made. Kelly, yet again, you wasted money. Instead of pouring money into this custom outfit, you should have poured money into this second restaurant that I could have went to while I was in Atlanta, but it wasn't open. So, okay. Porsha opens up about her boob job. She's got her boobs done again. So she's sitting looking right, tight, and pretty. Phaedra's happy to be back. Shamia's glad to be a full-time peach holder. Angela got her fan. It's all bedazzled up. Kelly, she brought her crystal and sat it on the middle of the table. And Drew is teaching the lady a few things tonight. So that was the beginning of those, first few moments. Anything you have to say about that?
The opening was the opening, right? Mm-hmm. I saw what they did, and I said, okay, I see y'all. How Phaedra went walking around, and by the way, that green robe Phaedra had on while she was getting makeup done, I wanted. But anyway, that's a side, huh?
Fabulous.
That's a side note. But when she got up and went looking for Britt and saw Britt wasn't in the room, then went to Porsha, and then eventually Cynthia came in the room. I saw what they was doing. I said, okay, it's kind of like the old crew in the room together, and then the new crew was kind of in the room together. When I saw them on the couch, I'll say this real quickly. When I finally saw them on the couch, no, you didn't really get there yet. I have a little different feel about the dresses when I saw it like live in person, but I think we said Porsha came in on top, and even in person, I was like, I think she's number one. Mm-hmm. So Kelly getting ready, and she said custom everything, and I was like, all right. See, the thing is what Kelly, I think, is upset about, and I do think, even though she's going to later on say it's not jealousy, I do think what Kelly is upset about, everything could be custom, but you still didn't really slay.
At all,
right? Shamia talks to her mother, and her mother told her, don't worry, you got this, okay? Because, Shamia said they're going to be coming for her, whatever the case may be. So the first opening scenes, I thought it kind of was what it was. Porsha take her magnesium. I thought it was what it was. And, it really wasn't, much more to say. But Shamia killed me when, Porsha came out and she rolled her eyes. But,
but the dirty looks, the nastiness, I was like, ooh, so nasty and so rude.
So nasty. So rude.
Ooh. Listen, good evening, everyone. We appreciate you for joining us. We are live on both channels, Royaire's World and Chronicles of the Greyhead Diva. So make sure you hit the like button on both channels. Make sure you are subscribed and to stay tuned with us as we are recapping Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 16 Part 1 Reunion. So we move into going on to, kind of the conversation with Andy and his questions. So, Andy announces Britt's absence and asks the ladies how, they're feeling about the announcement. Kelly felt that Britt plays the victim and she plays the bully. So, of course, it was nice for her to pretty much not show up and not take accountability for anything that she's done this season. Shamia said that she was excited about holding Britt accountable for the things that she said this season and the lies that she told. But here we are. She didn't show up. Phaedra and Porsha felt sad that Britt didn't feel comfortable to be able to come to, share with the group her thoughts and feelings and how maybe she felt betrayed by some of the girls in the group. Phaedra said, we are a sisterhood, and at the end of the day, we got to, love one another and accept them for their flaws and all of that stuff. But, they were sad not to see her there. Drew said that Britt threatened to sue her. Apparently, there's an alleged lawsuit out here against Drew from Britt. We're not sure exactly what it is. So, Drew was looking forward to Britt coming so that she can get those answers of exactly what this lawsuit is about. But she did not show up. The ladies shared that, they did enjoy Jab Jab. Phaedra said that is where she got her hat or headpiece idea from. That's where her look kind of came from. Andy felt that Kelly and Shamia and Angela had a really great first season, that they were received well by the audience. They all had their own fan base. And so he kind of wanted to know how they felt about this first season going around. Kelly felt that she was very relatable. She felt that people related to her, going through a divorce, being the mom of 4, raising her girls, being that independent woman. Angela said she was glad that people were able to understand about her being hot, okay? Because Angela had her fan all season long going, glue, wig lifting, everything. She had her fan, okay? Shamia said that she was just glad to be on her own, out of the shadows, out of Porsha's shadows specifically. So, she said she really enjoyed her first season. And then Shamia opened us up with a prayer, okay? Because apparently, she felt like this night was going to be rocky. So she wanted to give us a little prayer. And so she sent us off in a prayer. And so after the prayer, the questions immediately started, okay? So Andy asked, did anybody have an agenda tonight? Did anybody come with, anything that they wanted to get off their chest and heart? And of course, the peach herself, Miss Porsha, came up and said, listen, my intention is to take accountability for my actions this season and to decide whether we're going to move forward or move on. And that was that first little section. I'll throw this in here too. After that, Cynthia comes out. We got to see our best friend of the show, Miss Cynthia Bailey. Everyone loved having Cynthia part of the friend, group this year. Andy truly enjoyed Cynthia, obviously. I mean, he could just not stop singing her praises, and neither could I. Cynthia, you just... excellent job. She was the glue that kept this group together. She kept the storyline together. She kept everyone in line. It was just a really supportive role this season. She felt like she was relatable to the ladies. She felt like she was able to help the ladies, being that she's been on here for over a decade. She was been, in and out of friendships and the fallouts and stuff. So she was able to kind of help the ladies navigate their way through some of their situations. They also talked about Cynthia's hooded private part and her being with LaPrince and all of that good stuff. So that was a conversation as well. So I'll stop there because after that we get Porsha's first package. So anything on the ladies, their first season and all that?
Well, at first I thought, how after the show there's always some, mending of the friendships or stuff that happened during the season. Mm-hmm. Well, I thought Porsha and Shamia, got their life together, but apparently not, because as soon as Porsha walked on that stage, Shamia rolled her eyes. Okay. So that was interesting. And so, we had Shamia had first share next to Andy. Miss Thelma, she's one of my faves too. Okay. I always defend Cynthia. Okay. Back when it was Nene Leeds and all them was still on there, Cynthia's always been my girl. Holla at 50 Cent. Okay. So anywho, so it was Shamia, it was Angela, it was Kelly, it was Drew. It's interesting that Drew is a main cast member from before, and she's at the end, and all the newbies are seated before her. Drew, that should be a sign for you that it ain't looking good. Listen, right here, where all the newbies are sitting before you, and you got to look down and say, hey, to Andy.
Look, and they didn't even put you on the other couch with the two people that was
That part, and they knew at that point that Britt wasn't there. They knew Britt wasn't there.
Oh
And
my
you know, at the end, and you gotta look say, hey Andy, no, it's not good, boo boo. You gotta step up your game. So even all the drama you had with Ralph being in the basement and all of that, okay, you still was at the end. Then it was Porsha, Phaedra, and Cynthia, and they need to give Cynthia some extra money because she showed up, showed out as a friend, and now y'all had to put her on the couch early because y'all ain't have nobody else. Okay, so then you have that. So super early.
They didn't even do their first package before they brought Cynthia out. Like that was crazy.
That was crazy, but they was looking unbalanced. They had no choice.
Yeah.
Even like you said, they needed to tell Drew, come sit over here now, or you had to bring Cynthia out to bring some balance to the seating because it was looking crazy, right? So you know, Kelly, we'll get into a little bit more, Royaire, but I'm not feeling Kelly the way I was initially. Kelly's over the top. She too much. I'm not feeling her, but we'll get into that, right? You know, him paying homage to Cynthia, I loved it. I was here for it. But you know why he was able to pay homage to Cynthia is because Cynthia is old enough that she know where to fit in and how to get in and what role to play.
Yes.
So Cynthia didn't come there like I'm an OG. I'm gonna show y'all. She played her role, and she even came out on the couch and was like, "I'm grateful to have been in this friend role." And you know, to be here. So, you know, I just love Cynthia because that's how you come back. Yeah. That's how you get it done, right? Let me just back up with Porsha in this surgery. I think the people need to calm down with the surgery. Yeah. That's just a whole side note. Yeah. Porsha, you're gorgeous. Like
beautiful.
Yeah, you're really going in there getting these things redone, and now they sitting up properly. Girl, you got a daughter you want to raise, and I think she want to have more children. Stop putting all this stuff in your body, and it's for what? I mean, I just thought like, wow, this what we doing. So can we get anybody that's natural? I think maybe, well, no, because Angela had surgery too, right? Her nose or whatever. It's just too much. I'm like, Porsha, what could have possibly been wrong with your boobs? Like, how much bigger do you need them to be?
Yeah, to me, it's a confidence thing. I think we've talked about this before. I really think that the people they lack the self-confidence and they really listen to the outside world. And that's one thing about being on a platform like this. You really have to be secure in who you are and whose you are. And I think that's, you know, but I think it's that, but then there's also like this unspoken standard, if you may, that our society likes to hold women to. And we have to break that, you know, this, you got to have a big butt and big breasts and full lips and all, like, that's just not like, no, stop. People are who they are. God created us all equally, beautifully, and wonderfully made. Now, I'm not against anybody doing what they want to do. If you want to do what you want to do what you want to do. Right. But at the same token, we are seeing, as time is going on, all of these different surgeries and things, they're having repercussions. Look at K. Michelle. She literally almost lost her life with those butt implants. You know, we see so many stories about these surgeries that turn out bad, or things happen way later down the road that are not good because of these surgeries. But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. You know what, Roy, like, people got to wake up and realize, like, I'm enough.
Yeah, I refuse to take this shot, Diva. The Manjaro, the whatever, all these other, like, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I know that I can lose the weight myself. If I choose not to do it, that's on me. But what I won't be is sit up in a hospital bed because I done took somebody's stuff years down the road and now I'm all screwed up. I can't do it.
Yeah, not for me. Listen, I you know, we off track, but we on track, because I'm gonna say this too. Same here, Royaire. You know, the doctor said I gotta lose weight. I understand it. I get it. You know, I got a whole set of different women stuff going on with menopause and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, and of course they're like the legal, some of them, I'm not gonna say all. some of these doctors are like the legal drug dealers. They be pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, you know, these prescriptions on you. And the latest push is all of those weight loss drugs, the Ozempic, the Mounjaro, the Wegovy, all of that. And when you even express that you don't want to take it, they looking at you like, oh, then you just want to die. You no, I want you to help me find, because what was you telling patients before those drugs were out?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I want you to help me find a different solution. And I ain't mad at nobody who has to take it, needs to take it. We getting a storm, Royaire. I hope we're all.
We just finished one. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you know, I ain't mad at nobody that want to take it, but what if? Can you have the options for those of us that don't? Okay, I'm over here fighting a good fight. I'm going to the gym. And, you know, maybe one day I'll wake up and I could tell y'all that I lost the 30 pounds that the doctor told me to lose. But right now, it hasn't happened yet. But carry on.
Yes. So that was that. Moving on to our first package. After we come back from commercial, we receive our first package from Porsha. Okay. So we go through Porsha's divorce. We go through her fighting with Drew about Dennis and this filming situation. We go through her fighting with Dennis, and then we go through her losing her cousin Lundy throughout this season. So that was the package that we received from Porsha. Now, Porsha is still emotional about her cousin Lundy. As soon as the package was over, she was immediately, crying, very emotional, still trying to process, the loss of her cousin. And we totally understand that. So I was very understandable, with that all going on. Porsha's house was very important to her this season. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the home until at the end of the season. We got a special 5 months later, entry to the show after filming. And so, she just talked about how this house was bought, before her marriage with Simon. Due to the prenup, it became marital property. And so, she really wants to fight to keep the home, because that is literally, pretty much from my understanding, the only asset that she has left that's really working for her, if you may. So that was a whole conversation. As we all do know, in real time, her divorce has finalized. She did get the house. She got the car. So those were kind of the conversations that they were kind of having. She really did not want to talk too much about Simon. She kind of talked about her divorce, not being over, kind of in the same situation with Kelly. She went to court. It was supposed to be over, but it ended up not happening. We discussed Simon being in ICE. It was a comment, I guess, that Porsha called ICE on Simon. She set the record straight that Simon being in ICE is not helpful to her or the family, is causing more issues, and is holding up her divorce. Phaedra said pretty much Simon does not have citizenship, so that's why he is in ICE. Porsha said that, she still loves him, and it has put a strain on them, with him being in ICE. Shamia did say that she told Porsha to do her research, do her due diligence before marrying this man. Make sure you knew everything. Make sure, his money is actually moneying. Make sure where he's saying it's coming from is actually where it's coming from. And so Porsha said she did her due diligence because she didn't want to do a prenup, because she was all in love, but she did do a prenup. And, just later on, come to find out the reason that she divorced him, because things were not well in her favor. Things were not anything physically abusive or anything like that, but things were harming her financially. And so she had to go ahead and file for divorce to protect herself to get out of this marriage. Kelly said that she was not trying to shade Porsha when she was asking why you took that man's husband from his wife. Porsha said she felt that her and Kelly had a very serious conversation. They came to an agreement that they were kind of in the same space and in the same situation. Kelly said, well, let me be clear. I was married for 11 years. You were married for 11 months. So we were not in the same situation. Porsha apologized, saying, she did not mean to say she would screw Angela's husband. She also apologized and said that she was wrong, for what she said. The reason that she attacked Angela was because Angela attacked Simon, talking about him being in ICE and things, not working out for her in her marriage. Angela said the real issue is that Porsha was talking about Charles, prior to this whole, I know information about your husband was what was said. And so, because she came for her, Angela came for Porsha. And so apparently there was a comment made about Shamea introducing Porsha to Simon in Nashville, and Shamea said, hold up. That did not happen. I never said that. They went back and forth about who said what. Phaedra said, well, play the replay. Play the clip. They played the clip, and I did not hear Shamea say that she introduced Porsha and Simon. She said she was there when they met, okay? Now, Andy did ask Porsha, if Shamea introduced them, was that a story that they were coming up with for the show? And Porsha hesitated, but she did say no. Drew said that she did hear that Shamea introduced Porsha and him. Shamea said, people say a lot of things. You hear a lot of stuff. Porsha feels that Dennis, was very supportive to her during this whole divorce situation. He would come over, they would kiki, they would have their moments, and they would move on. Drew said that Porsha's return was a flop. She was supposed to come back with this major lifestyle, this fabulous home, and it didn't happen. Porsha said that this is a part of her storyline, and that Drew was out of order for, trying to get with Dennis, for trying to allegedly sleep with him. Drew still denies trying to sleep with Dennis for beats. Porsha said that she has the text message, but she couldn't remember exactly what was said, which I find that hard to believe. But she said she does have the text messages, okay? Porsha, and Drew went back and forth for a moment about this whole situation. Porsha felt it was inappropriate. Drew said that she reached out to Porsha and told her about it. She knew that they were working together. Drew said she can't help where the cameras follow her. Wherever they go, that's what they capture. That's what they catch. Shamea said that she did not ask Drew whether or not she was screwing Dennis. She asked if they were dating. Porsha then threw Shamea under the bus, saying that you did say that in private, and I asked you not to bring it up when we all went out there, but you still chose to bring it up. It was just a whole mess. Porsha said that she does support Drew's music. She's never going to tear anybody in their craft down, not the way that Drew did her on the Breakfast Club earlier. Porsha, then got up and went over to Drew, and she gave her a hug. And she said, I want to apologize because I was wrong for meeting with Ralph. That was not in my intentions. I did it out of petty reasons, and I'm sorry. Drew, she did receive the apology. She did, give support to Porsha, saying, listen, my first season I got on here, dang, Diva. Look, it is sounding like a little earthquake over there, honey. You okay? Look. But, Drew said that she received the help from Porsha her first season. She know the wigs wasn't wigging, the glues wasn't gluing down, and so Porsha helped her out. So they were able to move past their little issues. The ladies were all glad. They clapped for the forgiveness and the moving on. So that was that first little package right there. Anything on that?
All right, I'm gonna go fast because y'all here, child, it's doing what it's doing over here. Can you hear me though a little bit?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. So you know what? Let me do the Porsha package first. I'll give it up to Porsha for realizing, I guess, the error of her ways. I think she came there because she knew that she was doing the most during the season. So she was prepared to come and, make amends, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. So she was wrong for everything she said about Angela. Mm-hmm. And I will never understand a chick that will say something about somebody else's relationship when they know that they struggled in their own, mm-hmm. right? Like, why? Who does that? Why would you do that? I wouldn't play with nobody's marriage. I wouldn't say that, oh, I would sleep with somebody's husband and I'm sitting here going through a divorce. Has anyone asked Fallon how many months pregnant she was with another man's baby at the time? Come on, Bo. That's the other thing too. Because I was feeling for Fallon when this happened way back when. I was feeling for her. And Fallon went on, what's that guy? He has a cute podcast name. Why is it slipping my mind right now? It'll come to me. She went on his podcast and was acting like, Porsha and Simon did her so wrong. And then a couple weeks after that, she announced her having a baby. I'm like, girl, so the whole time, like Simon said, you was pregnant. Because Simon said he caught her on the Ring camera sleeping with that guy while they were still together. But Up and Adam, thank you, Stephanie, Up and Adam. She went on Up and Adam. She had on white. She was acting all angelic. She was saying how dirty they was, and I was saying calling Porsha a hoe and everything. Had me calling Porsha out of her name, and then we come back later, and the truth did come out because Simon said the truth was going to come out, and she was pregnant. How did she think she was going to have a whole baby from us? So, and listen, truly, at the end of the day, now I'm not that chick that I'm not that chick that if somebody's with somebody, I would date them because in my mind, I'm like, if you're doing it to her, you're going to eventually do it to me. Yes. But at the end of the day, the man is responsible for being dedicated to his wife. Mm-hmm. So Porsha couldn't have taken anybody that did not want to be taken.
That's true.
I'm not saying Porsha was looking for gold, and she found fool's gold. Yeah. And you know what, Lorraine? Porsha stepped into a situation that she should have never been in. But let's be clear: if your man is dedicated to you, he wouldn't have stepped out and stepped over to Porsha. Porsha wouldn't have been able to holler at him. So, when these relationships, it takes two. And, and I have girlfriends with like, when they're cheated on, they want to approach the chick. I'm like, you approaching the chick? Yo, my conversation will be with my man and my man only. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be in no chick face. I'm not DMing her. I'm not calling her. I'm not asking if she knew about me. It is what it is. Go ahead and have him now. Because at the end of the day, you taking a cheater off my hands. So, you know what? I sit over here and cry and go through what I have to go through. But good luck to the both of y'all. Because how you get them is how you lose them. So, but anywho, so she went through all of that. The conversation between her and Kelly, and that's why, Royaire, I'm telling you, I don't like Kelly. Right? I'm not feeling her right now. And maybe she'll grow on me. But I'm not liking Kelly because of the simple fact of it seems like her and Porsha did have a conversation. And so Kelly was sitting on the couch like they didn't have a conversation. Right. And that's why when Andy came at her and asked her, she had to tell us how she owed that, like she had $100,000 she owed somebody, and she talking about, because I was trying to pay my $200,000 legal bill. Girl, go sit down somewhere. When you was on this TV telling us about your glam squad, you got the dog getting $1,000 treatments. You misappropriating your funds. And that's a point blank in a period. Mm-hmm. What else did you want me to talk about? I say this real quick. Mm-hmm. Shamia and this whole how we met Simon's situation.
Yes.
I believe there was some conversation around it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the conversation was, but I do believe there was some conversation around it. Oh yeah, Monique said, yeah, that's right. I forgot, Monique. Bring me back, girlfriend. In the bags that she got her daughter for her birthday, well over $65K. She threw the dog. Didn't she throw the dog a birthday party or something like that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Girl, bye. I'm over it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But go ahead, I'll mute myself because, honey, the rain about to bust through my window.
Yes. Yeah, no, just a few things I wanted to say real quick about Porsha and her whole package. Definitely sending our condolences to the family still. I know that they are still grieving that loss, so we're definitely still sending our thoughts and prayers. I read that somebody said in the comment section, I don't know who it was, that Porsha has grown. I don't see growth. I just feel like Porsha knew she messed up this season and she just wanted to come and clean up her mess so that she can move on. The whole conversation with sleeping with Angela's husband, it was just inappropriate, out of pocket, out of line. This is not the first time that we've heard Porsha say things like this. So to me, it's a pattern. you are who you are. You out of pocket and out of line. I do believe that Porsha and Shamea did have a story set up to try to say that Simon was introduced via Shamea, but now that her and Shamea are no longer friends, I see that they do not want to ride with that story anymore. And then this whole Kelly and Porsha situation. Kelly, now if I last remember, through this season, probably around episode 5 or 6, you and Porsha did go to lunch together. And y'all sat down and y'all came to an agreement that, y'all both were in bad relationships and that y'all both had horrible husbands and that y'all both have an understanding of each other's situation. So now that we come to the reunion, where's the differentiance at? I don't understand. What happened differently? What changed in this process? And I think that's one thing that I have noticed about Kelly throughout this season. I know they used to say that Cynthia was a flip-flopper, but Kelly is a true flip-flopper, a real flip-flopper, because you just bounce on whichever side you feel like that you're going to look the most innocent in. That's what you did with Britt, bouncing over to Shamea. That's what you did with Porsha, bouncing over to Shamea to try to get in her good graces after she done told you not to talk about her friend. Now, what I will say is that Shamea did mention that she wanted all the ladies to get to know Porsha for themselves. I will say that Shamea they didn't show it in the show, so I have to roll with it. She did not say that she introduced Simon and Porsha. She said that they knew them when they first met and was introduced to one another. Okay? So that was the conversation, but semantics. He say, she say. So moving on to the next package, we had Kelly. Now, Kelly, it was more of a Kelly Britt situation, if you may. Kelly said that, she has always had a team prior to this show. And so when Britt came to the show, she did not have a team. This was new for Britt. She was having issues with Kenya. She was having issues trying to find a team. And so she volunteered for her team to be welcome to use, or welcome Britt to use her team. But this was not supposed to be a full season thing. This was supposed to be temporary. Kelly, I have a question. Did you share with Britt that this is a temporary situation? Or did you just say that's my team?
Well,
because words matter.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Porsha said that, Britt may have felt that Kelly was jealous of her. Maybe that's why they had this whole fallout situation. And so Kelly said, let me be clear, there's nothing that I'm jealous about when it comes to Britt, and she'll leave it at that. Porsha said that Britt shared that the newbies were supposed to all have an alliance together, okay? It was supposed to be Shamea, Britt, and Kelly. Now, according to Shamea, Porsha was also supposed to be a part of this alliance. But I don't recall seeing Porsha at that first dinner with Britt, Kelly, and Shamea. Do you remember that?
No, sir. Okay. No.
Okay. So, she said that they were all supposed to be in an alliance. Well, apparently, after we went to Grenada, Britt started recognizing that Kelly was kicking her to the curb. She threw her under the bus about the whole giving to the charity situation. And so at that point in time, by the time Britt met with Cynthia and Porsha, she felt like I was out the alliance. So I ought to go ahead and share everything that's been going on in the alliance, okay? And so Shamea said, well, hold up now. There was an alliance and Porsha was included in this alliance. And so Andy said, well, did we forget to mention this to Porsha?
Wasn't Andy taking off for Porsha?
Andy was like, Andy.
He loved her for Porsha.
Sit back.
He was taking off for Porsha the whole time.
The whole time. But I feel like that they're trying to usher Porsha back into the show so that they can keep her rolling. I really felt like that's what it was for me. Is that he's trying to clean her slate so she can come back next season. That's what I really think it is.
He's not letting go of
Porsha. But
but not only that, because he loved freaking Frack. He's not usher. So honey, just like he saved, remember who was he saving that year? Giselle in the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I was like, well, go ahead, Andy, you better save Porsha.
Yeah, he definitely was doing that. Porsha said, she was not a part of the alliance and she doesn't do alliances because alliances kills the show. And we have witnessed that firsthand on this show, okay? So she was never a part of the alliance, according to Porsha. Kelly, she said that she hates that, Britt did not support her back when she was going through all of her issues with her husband and the divorce and, this alleged side baby and all of this mess. She was not in support of that. Angela, she wanted to know, or excuse me, Andy wanted to know why Angela wasn't a part of the, alliance. Because Angela's a newbie. Angela said she didn't know nothing about the alliance. But,
she said allegiance.
Allegiance. She didn't know nothing about the allegiance. And she didn't appreciate that Kelly didn't tell her. She always felt that Kelly took the side of Britt and was always kicking her to the curb. And now you done found out who Britt really is. And now you looking goofy, okay? Now, Kelly did ask, or Kelly was also asked about her fight with Britt at Phaedra's event. And in regards to this whole being married and getting pregnant and having an abortion that was allegedly by another man, all of these allegations, okay? Kelly mentioned that, those things were lies. She never told Britt those things. Apparently, a stylist told these things and that they were not true. But she does support a woman making her own choices and her own opinions. She said that she had her twins. She got her tubes tied. So that's all a lie. Okay. Kelly also, mentioned that her divorce is officially final. Everything is finalized. She's clear. She spent $200,000 on this divorce. And so some of the ladies felt that she got away easy with the $200,000. So, okay. Kelly, her bodyguard was brought up, and she said that she has the bodyguard because of her ex-husband, of course. Porsha felt otherwise. Porsha said, well, we was told that it was because of the ex-husband, but, we feel like it's more so for the show, just to show out. And so, Kelly said, that's not true. If y'all think that I would be paying a bodyguard versus my bills, y'all are insane. I need him for protection from my husband. Drew said that her ex, or that Kelly's ex reached out to Ralph, Drew's ex. And so, pretty much he told Ralph that everything that Kelly was saying was a lie. That Kelly is the reason that he's in jail. Just that whole situation. Kelly said that, you just can't file a complaint saying that someone is harming you and they put that order into the court. Phaedra said, well, if the person doesn't show up 9 times out of 10, they will do that. And I got to press pause right here because I thought that was very irresponsible of Phaedra to say something like that. That is not true. There are a lot of situations where people file complaints and the person shows up and they still do not get a restraining order, even though they actually really need one. Yeah. And so for Phaedra as an attorney, for you to put that narrative out there that people just out here getting restraining orders willy-nilly and freely, that was very irresponsible.
Yeah, I oh God, I didn't like that. And I feel like that there's still alliances, right? Mm-hmm. And the alliances lie. That side of the couch are all one, and the other side of the couch is all one.
That's why I couldn't understand why Porsha was talking about she don't believe in alliances. You sitting over here with Frack right now, freaking Frack.
That part.
That's all we heard all season was freaking Frack.
Yeah, it was reckless for her to say that. Mm-hmm. It was just reckless. Yeah, it was reckless. I agree with you. I know it sounds like popping popcorn. Listen, it's the rain, y'all, but the show must still go on.
Okay, we almost through.
Yeah, I happen to just sit by my window when I do it. Yeah, I gotta pivot when there's gonna be a storm. But go ahead. Come
on for the pivot, yes. So Kelly talked about her second location. It'll be opening up very, very soon. Andy brought up the $100,000. She says she has paid them a very large lump sum, and so they are good. The reason that she had that $100,000 fee because she had attorney bills, she had children, she's got a dog, she's got large payments to pay. So she couldn't do that. The group thinks that it would be a better idea for her to invest in the restaurant than investing in her dog. Okay. She spent $1,000 on the dog to get a facial. Why? Shamia wants Britt and Kelly to get in a better space. And so that's why she was trying to root for Kelly and, Britt to get in a better space. But she felt like she was catching strays from Britt when she was trying to talk to Britt about her and Kelly's situation. And then Kelly said that she probably will not be friends with Britt again because she did not feel reciprocation in their friendship. So that was that little short, small scene with Kelly. And then I'll stop right here because the next scene is really small, so we can address that and then we'll close out. So
yeah, well, the Lions thing I was shocked about, Royaire. I really was. And for Shamia to say that Porsha was part of the Alliance, for some reason I don't believe that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because she said, if she said y'all got to get to know Porsha for yourself, maybe you was trying to bring her into the Alliance, but I don't believe she was a part of the Alliance when they first talked about it. I don't believe that for 1.2 seconds, right? And Shamia, she pulled the wool over my eyes. She's sneaky. She doesn't tell the whole truth. And I think Shamia came in the door, wanting to be that girl. It was almost like Shamia has been waiting to do this thing. And I believe what Porsha said is they didn't want her to do it at first because her husband didn't want to film. But I think they were so desperate at this point that they went ahead and let her do it without him filming because, hey, don't nobody else got a husband, so your husband not filming, what's the big deal? We're probably back in the day, it was Greg, it was Peter, it was Apollo, it was Todd. So we're not going to have all these husbands and your husband don't film, but now there are no husbands. So except what's his name, Charles.
And Charles. Yeah.
And well, Britt husband or whatever. So So either way though, it's just the whole thing is just completely and utterly messy. So I didn't like when that whole Alliance thing came up, and I feel like there are a lot of things that they're not telling us, that is being kept as a secret. Kelly, her divorce, this other location, the 200,000, own 100,000. I'm really not feeling her. Kelly's husband is taking from her financially $500K out of the company account, not paying child support. The similarity is that the husband have embarrassed them. Yeah. No, I believe, and that's why I said earlier. Porsha and Kelly did have a conversation, and Kelly was sitting up there looking stupid to me, trying to say, "Oh, don't compare peaches to apples."
Right.
My marriage was 11 years. Yours was 11 months. I thought, I'm over her. I don't know what else to really say about those scenes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it really wasn't too much else to say. Like I said, I just feel like Kelly is trying to duck and dodge bullets. She's trying to stay as clean as possible. This whole not paying the rent because your dog got $1,000 bill, you paying all of these buying all these purses for your daughter's birthday, for her 16th birthday. She didn't need 16 gifts for her 16th birthday. Get her a gift or two and keep it pushing, especially if you were already throwing this major party that you threw. It's giving very financially irresponsible. And look, when Andy called you out on being financially responsible, it's a problem. It's a major problem. Andy Cohen called you out, okay? He called you out. Like I said, Phaedra trying to downplay this whole situation. I did not like that at all. Obviously, I feel like Porsha knew Britt was not coming because she did a lot of fighting for Britt eating. She did a lot of fighting for standing up for Britt eating. I didn't see that coming. I don't know if it's because she truly likes Britt, or I don't know if it's because of her and Shamia's situation that she feel like she got to kind of fight. I don't know exactly what it is, but I thought that was very interesting that she came up, trying to show up for Britt eating. Angela not realizing that there was an allegiance in the group. Angela, where have you been? This show been on for 16 years. If you're not in an alliance, I don't know what you're in on this show because you got to be a part of somebody group. So, Angela everything went over Angela's head apparently. But yeah, I don't know. Shamia and Kelly, they really showed me a side this episode that I've been abandoning all season long. that I've been not seeing. But the wolves have, uncome from my eyes. We see y'all. So, we get a package from Angela in our last scene of the night. And so Angela Oakley, we're getting to know Charles, her husband, former NBA player. We're getting to know about her mom issues with Charles and all of that drama. We found out about the issues with her daughter getting married and the mom falling out. We find out about, a possible allegedly a side baby that was not true. We found out about Porsha and this talking about I'll sleep with your man. And then this stranger Mark coming at the end of the season to say that her husband is cheating on her. Okay? So Angela says that this man, she never met him. She did not know him. He's from Athens, Georgia, the same place that Phaedra's from. And so he said that at first she said, Kelly said she did it. And then it was Britt. Then it was Porsha. Now it's Phaedra. He named everybody in the group, okay? Well, Phaedra says she doesn't know that man. She ain't never seen that man. And she did not tell her, that man was who he was, okay? She said, oh, you didn't, Phaedra? Phaedra said, no, I didn't. She said, well, let me pull out the folder, okay? Let me get the notes. And so she pulled out her folder.
You know what? I'm going to let you finish, Royaire, but you know what? We really going back to the Real Housewives of Potomac with Monique in the folder. I was so underwhelmed. I was like...
Late. You are so late to the party, girl. Late to the party. So she pulls out these pictures with Phaedra's brother and Mark's aunt or cousin Kim. And they in the picture together. And Angela says, don't you know this man? She said, yeah, that's my brother. Well, your brother and Kim, y'all all went to high school together. There's only 3 high schools and 4 middle schools in Athens. So y'all know each other. Phaedra said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know Kim. I don't know that man. What reason would I have to come against you? I don't know you, Angela. And she said, well, you're trying to secure your seat here on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And Phaedra said, I don't need to secure my seat. My contract is already sealed, baby, okay? I will be back next season. You need to be trying to find out if you're going to be back next season.
Right, we're here. Signed, sealed, delivered, honey.
Baby.
That's how you clear the room.
So
that I ain't got nothing to worry about. I could just show up and look pretty. I'm gonna be back next season because I already signed the deal.
Secured. Okay. This is what secure looks like. This is what locked in looks like. This is what a check looks like, boo. Get into it. Okay. So, Angela says that she cannot believe that Porsha sits here and believes all of the foolishness that Phaedra says, especially after the lies that she got into it with her. And so Porsha said, well, listen, this is all silly. Mark was lying from the jump. He blamed everybody. And then he said it was Phaedra. Now you coming with all this mess. Just stop it, okay? And so that ended off part 1 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 reunion. Your thoughts on that last scene, if any?
The foolery with Angela, cause you from Athens, right? Is this your brother? That's your who's that? She's like, it's my brother. Yeah, and you know her. And they went, it's only 2 schools in Athens, so they all know each other. I was like, girl, is this what we doing, this stupidity right here? This what we doing? This the best you got, Angela? Really? I wasn't here for it. I wasn't like, like, wow, she did the darn thing. She could have just stayed home with that, okay? It was just ridiculous to me. And yes, Porsha was wrong for saying she would sleep with Charles and all of that. Yeah, she did look crazy. She looked crazy on that stage.
Not a
and
brand
I just
fool.
was like, that's hilarious. Listen, Angela with fake receipts, girl, bye. You're a fan. Fell flat. It fell all the way flat. It fell all the way flat. And Phaedra was just looking there like, whatever, I'm still gonna be back next year, so whatever. Yes, a lackluster evidence. I agree with all y'all. You know what? This whole particular reunion, Royaire, I was really sitting there like, I went and got snacks during the break and didn't rush back.
Look, grab a snack and come on back, in the words of Whitney.
Okay. Yeah, I went and got snacks. And you know, when there's Wendy Williams, as soon as you heard her voice, I start running back to the TV. Girl, I heard them talking. I was like, whatever, I'll figure out what happened when I get back in the room. It was just, it was the worst. It was the worst. It didn't even leave me wanting to see, part 2. And listen, let me tell you, Britt Edie said there's no reunion without her. She ain't never lied. I don't know what they're going to do that's going to make us feel like, okay, this was worth it to us. But this is probably a reunion where they could have definitely made it one part.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing at this point that we have to look forward to is, and I don't want to say look forward to it because it's sad, but this whole Shamia and Porsha fallout.
Right, that's all. You are correct.
Nothing else happened this season. We already dealt with, Porsha and Drew, and they fall out. Britt Edie is not here. Most of the issues was with Britt. Nobody. I mean, what else are we going to talk about? What else are we going to talk about? So, that wrapped up part 1 of the reunion of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. At the end of every episode, we ask that you leave your thoughts and opinions on the show and your ratings on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Leave your thoughts and opinions on reunion part 1 down in the comment section, and we will go through those. So, Auntie, your rating and your final thoughts.
Can I just give it an F? I mean, I'm going to give it a number, and I'm going to give it a 1. And the only reason why I'm giving a 1 because everybody except Britt showed up. It was nothing in there that I was like, oh my God. Even when, when Porsha got up and apologized to Drew, it was like, it was nothing. Kelly tried to come at Porsha, and Porsha was even sitting there like, whatever. Like, it gets a 1 for me.
Okay, yeah. I gave it like a 5. I said a 5, just because, it was just a 5. Nothing special happened. Nothing really. It was just, just being nice and gave it a 5. Just being nice. So that was my thoughts. It was very lackluster. Like I said, unfortunately, the only thing we have to look forward to is Porsha and Shamia's fallout. That's it. I mean, nothing else really happened with anybody else on the show. So we'll see. Let's see. Monique Austin, a 2 for Charles Oakley, even though he wasn't there. Emmanuel gave it a 4. This didn't need a part 3 or 2. Let's see. Miss Amy is giving it a 3. Snoopy is giving it a 5. Judy is giving it a 4. Marcus was not mic'd up. Okay. Lorraine is giving it a 6. Okay. Miss Doggan is giving it a 7.5. Mo Walker is giving it a 5. Katrina is giving it a 2. Monique, tell me why 05. I gotta know. A 5, just being nice. Literally, that's all. I mean, that's the only reason why. Literally. Auntie Kim is giving it a 5. Smash that like button as you exit. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Hey, thank you for coming through. Fake apology, definitely fake apologies going out tonight for sure. Due Process is giving it a 4. I wonder what happens when the men come out. Yeah, probably nothing. Ocean Dreaming is giving it a 5 just because they are beautiful Black women, and that's what I said. Just a 5. Thank you. And then Raheem is giving it a 3. Okay, so yeah, we gonna say it's a 5 overall. Very lackluster episode.
Yeah.
Lackluster.
I mean,
Yeah,
I was literally bored.
yeah,
I was literally bored. I was like, really, this what we're doing? Like, it was just stupid. Yeah.
yeah. It was whack. It was definitely whack. But listen, we appreciate you guys for coming through with us and joining us for part 1 of the reunion. Though it was whack, please make sure you come back and join us next week for part 2. You know, I think we make the show good. So listen, come through, share with us, even if you don't watch it. I'm gonna give you enough details to feel like you watched the whole reunion. So come on through with us.
You sure do. You sure do.
So come through, join us next Monday for part 2 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Are you busy tomorrow?
No, I was up.
Okay, let's do episode 8, 7, 8
Of next gen.
Next gen, because we missed last week.
That's my show.
Okay, yes, I'm loving it. Last week's episode was so good.
Yes, it was.
Not Ariana and Georgia fighting at the end of the episode. I was like, y'all better. Woo. Not Brooks having to ride in the car with Charlie by his. Not all of your friends can off, Charlie. Nobody wants to be cool with you. Ava didn't show up. Your roommate moved out. Dylan. I was like, everybody that cut Charlie off. That was a mess.
Yeah, because they sick of covering for him. They sick of financially covering for him. Yeah.
Horrible. You treat people wrong.
I watched it last night, and all I can say is, and I hope y'all can hear me because this rain is serious. I watched it last night, and Tyson Beckford, he worked. He's worked with his 53-year-old self. He look good though for his age, but he is worked.
I'm gonna kick your butt.
Somebody robbed her.
I know. But we don't need to be bringing that up.
All this money and somebody robbed her.
Whoever robbed Beyonce, we want our things back within the next 48 hours. If not, repercussions will begin. For the people that did not know, I went to meet my 2 nieces last week at the Cowboy Carter 2 tour.
Here we go.
And so Blue and Rumi, the 2 hardest working young girls in America, okay?
They cute.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them. Beyonce, just when I thought that you couldn't come through in top Renaissance, you came through and swept me off my feet, girl.
Oh.
And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul, honey, because you did that, honey. For 2.5 hours, you gave us everything. The vocals, whoever said that Beyonce was not out here dancing, not out here singing, and not out here putting the work, we curse you 2 times. Because how dare you?
Who said that about her?
The people was out here talking about her on the social media, saying that she getting old and she getting lazy. How dare they? They was trying to talk bad about my girl auntie, but Beyonce came through. She did a fabulous job. Her beautiful girls came out and did a fabulous job. Rumi had to come out on stage and go off on somebody in the audience, and I was here for it. I said, let them know, Rumi, we are not playing tonight. Auntie, the people was fighting at the concert. Who fights at a Beyonce concert? But overall, thank you, Beyonce, so much for gracing me with your presence. Thank you, Miss Tina, for coming out and showing us your love. And shout out to Tyler Perry. I was able to shake his hand very briefly as he walked through to his little area. I was like, oh my God, what a moment, what a moment, what a moment. So thank you, Beyonce. I love you, girl, and I cannot wait to meet you. I cannot wait.
You shook Tyler Perry's hand?
I did. As we were walking past, I was like, oh my God, hi.
All the scandal that's going on with him right now?
Listen.
That ain't none of your business.
You want to give me $260 million? I'm here.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen, what they say, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. So.
Well, you know what? And I do go with that. That is facts.
Yes. But other than that, make sure y'all join us tomorrow night for Next Gen NYC episode 7. I believe episode 8 drops this week on Tuesday night. I will be catching up on our recap of Ashanti and Nelly, so stay tuned for that. I'm sorry I'm a little late behind, but I'm still doing that. Join Diva tonight, 8:30 for trending topics. She's got a great story that we kind of talked about earlier, and y'all definitely want to be in the building for that. So make sure you join Diva tonight for trending topics as well. Anything else we got going on? I think that's it.
No way. Join Diva in the rain. I hope they can hear me. This rain is relentless. I should have put some soap on my car, honey. You would have got a nice little
yes, nice little wash.
Oh no, it is it's going down there. It's going down. But we will be recapping this to the end. Mm-hmm. So y'all will do part 2 and part 3 with us because we're committed.
We are committed. The Braxtons will be back in October. We will be recapping that. So they just wrapped up their 2nd season of the Braxtons. So stay tuned for that. Did you watch Love and Marriage this past Saturday?
I didn't. Was it good?
I missed it. I missed it. It was just such a busy weekend, but yeah. Well, I think that's it. Listen, we are live on both channels, Royaire's World and Chronicles of the Grayhead Diva. So make sure you hit the like button on both channels. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe and turn your notification bells on all. That way you see each and every time we post a video with you in mind. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we will catch y'all next time. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Royaire's World.